Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it? You already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. She's a what? She's a what? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. She's torta with some track habits. Bye-ya. 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 Órale, in a menudo style in direct fashion, man, we're going to get straight to it. But before we do, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that I'm kicking. And gracias. Here we go, man. I highly appreciate all the support I've been getting. Now, I wanted to tell you guys a little story. Do you guys know what white lightning is? Well, I'm going to explain to you exactly what white lightning is. And who be drinking it, brother? Them woods, they love them some white lightning. They can make some too. So can them natives. White lightning, you hear a lot about Pruno. And Pruno's and prison alcohol. That can be manufactured differently, man. There's a lot of different people. If you know the recipe, you know the recipe. I myself like to use a little of the huo from the fucking soup. I like to use all that starch, man, that's in the soups, the macaroni and cheese. The macaroni's the best. You get all that starch or rice. That's what made that shit pop. That's what made that kicker kick, right? So definitely there was a lot of different recipes when it came to Pruno, but there was one specific particular drink of choice on them yards when I was locked up, and that was white lightning. It was clear. Cops couldn't tell what it was, man. It looked just like water. And a Pepsi bottle of that shit went for at least 100. At least that's how it was back in the days. Now, it was a tedious process for those that used to make white lightning, and there was always at least one or two guys on a yard that used to make it. Not a lot of people knew the art of making white lightning. And what white lightning basically was extracting the pure alcohol from the wine, right? So this shit was A1 from day one. This shit was 10.5 a key. It was pura. It was like drinking Everclear. So it's pretty hard to get your hands on it. And most people that would get it, would get it for special occasions. New Year's, a homeboy's birthday. Sometimes vatos just wanted to get pisteando to death. That's just how that was. But white lightning wasn't something that someone drank like on a daily basis. It was for a festive occasion in prison. You got to understand, in prison, everything is done in moderately. Like we're outside, you got motherfuckers that are just slamming. But in there, they get little papers for $50, which looks like a match head. And they're all happy. Hey, I got a paper. I got a paper. I got a paper. They're telling their cellie, and guard. That motherfuckers got papers, right? People be on the hunt. They'll go straight up to the yard. Hey, this is how you know when a motherfucker's feeling himself. When he got a little feria, he's going to go on the first thing he does, instead of saying, damn, I'm going to go get some soap, a deodorant. You know what I mean? They're like, they already got their lista. It's like a Christmas list. With Christmas coming up, it reminds me, coffee, a paper, and a bottle of white lightning. You know what I mean? Hey, fuck it, let's party, right? They're ready to get their party on. So this story is about white lightning, right? And this guy who was making white lightning on the yard and decided to start dealing with outside of his race, decided to start dealing with the Paisas. Now, one thing about the Paisas, man, they're hella cool, but you get them vatos drunk on a yarda and shit starts to get weird. It starts to go down, man. I see a lot of Paisas, they start to say, man, show, show. They start to do a few different things that they wouldn't necessarily do, outside of a fucking bar. So anyways, there was a gang of Paisas on this yard I was on, man. They were all cool. They used to function with the Southsiders, man, but they used to talk to us, We'd see them in passing in traffic as you're walking the track, and they usually used to like to play in the middle of the track was a fucking, not a volleyball court. There was with those two, the fucking tortitas, you know what I mean? Love those. But there was definitely a fucking, a soccer field, and they used to be on the soccer field hanging out. That was their little area, their little spot. They had that shit on lock. Every once in a while, a couple of the brothers would go in there. Hey, can I play with USAs? They'd be like, no, porque no, tú es un africano, no, right? And they, hell no, right? But every once in a while, man, the brothers would play. I'm just bullshitting. There'd be everyone out there fucking with it. Not a lot of interaction though. A lot of people kept to their own. Blacks had basketball, Mexicans had handball, and the Paisas, well, you already know, soccer was their domain. The whites, brother, they had coffee, right? And bar work and a little bit of everything. So there was this one white dude, he had touched down, man. He was a skinhead, righteous skinhead, man. Good fucking dude, big boy, right? Where the big boys played. Definitely, he was from Orange County area and was with the absolute business, man. I seen him so many times put people on their pockets. I seen him so many times snatch his homies up and check people. He was that one. He was that one. I'm not going to necessarily say he was the llavero or the shot caller, but he was not the one to be fooled with, man. He was not the one to be taken lightly. A lot of them skinheads ain't. Facts. If you've ever done time with skins, they're different from woods. Whereas the woods sex play and like to horseplay a lot, and skins don't get down like that. I know I said earlier in my video, I apologize, man. I said earlier in my video, it just came out, man, that the skins like to sex play. They don't do that, so I'm going to clean that up and correct that. They're more solid in the fact that they're fucking more structured, they're about their business. So anyways, this guy gets there and he has the art down of making white lightning. Okay, so everybody on the yard knows. And look, quietly as it's kept, let me make sure that no one's looking. Guard, turn around, right? Even though you're not supposed to deal outside your race, even though you're not supposed to deal with other people and other cars, there's a lot of that shit that happens, man. There's a lot of ways to wiggle. Hey, boy, if you pass it to the Native American, we can fuck with the Native American. So the Native will shoot the Native the money. The Native will shoot that fucking white guy the money. The white guy, you know what I mean? Shit goes down like that. There's way to three ways. There's three-way transactions going on. There's no way that a particular group on the yard is going to go without. If they got feria, and I don't give a fuck if it's a South Sider that has all the black on the yard, man. And if a Norteño wants some, he's going to make sure that somehow he's able to get it. He's able to facilitate it into the other's hands and from the others into his hands. There's going to be ways to make things happen. There's certain groups that can deal with each other and certain groups that can't. That's just how business is conducted in prison. Facts, man. I know a lot of people like to think, now, fuck that. Hey, we ain't going to take nothing from them vatos. Yeah, right, Holmes. Especially nowadays with the end of hostilities, everybody's enjoying the spoon, I'm sure. Hey, and it's mighty white of them, brother. So anyways, this guy, he's known for making white lightning. So everybody, he was on it, man. I don't know if that motherfucker had the hookup, but he was pushing out bottles of white lightning every day, right? He was doing it. And there was a lot of people buying that shit. He was making money. He had the Pruno thing going on. And we started to notice from the outside looking in that these Paisas were some of his better clients, right? They were getting fucking drunk all day. Well, these couple Paisas come to the yard. They're sellies, man. They're cool. Borrachos. Borracho meaning they like to fucking drink all day, every day. They would constantly be on that yard. They got checked by the Southsiders many a times because they'd be on that yard all pedo, acting stupid, right? You know what I mean? Singing corridos on the yard. One of them thought he was Chalino. The other one thought he was the lead singer of Los Bukis, right? They'd be in that motherfucker like, Vivo de tres. You know what I mean? They were all fucked up, thrown up all over the yard. And you have to carry yourself with professionalism in prison. You have to carry yourself with dignity and respect. You have to be clean. You can't go to the yard smelling like caspa and caca. You can't go to the yard all fucked up with rips in your pants, They got to get you right, especially like say you pull up to a prison and the cops are going to do you dirty unless you know someone in R&R and you got a homeboy there. Usually they're going to give you the tightest fucking jeans they can find, the Wes Watsons, right? The TikTok pants, they're going to slap those to you in a fucked up Chuequai shirt that's all like that. And it's up to your homeboys to get you right. I remember when I pulled up to Susanville, one of my homeboys from my area happened to be there. And after I got the clearance process done, after a few days I was cleared, immediately he came out to the yard with a pair of pants, crispy states, right? And then a clean shirt. He was like, hey, homie, you're looking kind of bad, eh? Let me throw those on one time for your mind. And brought me back like a heart attack. And next thing you know, my head was big, my goatee was banged out, and I was feeling myself like a Mac Dre song. But anyways, so these Paisas, they're out there carrying themselves with unprofessionalism just based on, not the people, good gente, man. These were some good-ass Paisas. They were good dudes. They just like to drink a lot. So they started to get in debt. See, there's credit, Holmes. There's prison credit. For those of you that don't know, you can get things depending upon who you are or what car you're from, on credit, especially if you got a Chicano Express card. Don't leave home without it because you could definitely, if you get involved in that, the drugs and the alcohol aspect and the gambling, you can get credit, but your credit card could get declined if it becomes over the limit, right? You get a limit. So, man, if you get paper here, okay, I got a paper on credit. You tell yourself, you got the package coming, right? And that fucking package don't come, well, now there's problems. Now it looks like you're going to be shining shoes for a fucking month. You're going to have to pay that shit off somehow, some way. People don't get ahead of themselves, though. Most guys that are in them yards in prison know the seriousness of that shit. Drug debts and burning people don't go together, right? There's been I think more so removals and pegadas that have ever happened in prison that I know of have been over drug debt or people trying to wiggle. Man, I've seen a lot of dudes, they get in debt so bad with a different race or a different car, man, and then they whack someone. They whack their celly or something so they can wiggle and get out of the way. And that shit follows you, man. Once you do that, you're no longer general population. You got to PC up, go to a SNY yard. You're not welcomed anymore. to the reindeer games because news travels fast. Hey, that one fucking dude, the one that has the starfish tattooed right here, vale verga este vato. Fuck him. That vato burnt me for a fucking bottle of for a thing of Folgers and a VO5. You know what I mean? Straight up. For those of you that don't know what VO5 is, refer to the Walking Horse Handbook. For a package, it'll show you shampoo. So now, and look, half of my tattoos are done with baby oil and VO5. So, these fucking paisas are on the yard, man, and they're getting in debt with this white dude. Now, this white dude didn't play. So, the first thing he does is he goes to the Southerners because the Southsiders, albeit the paisas ran their own program, they functioned pretty close with the Southsiders, you know. Not basically the Southsiders told them what to do, but if shit ever went down, they would rock parallel. They would rock side by side. So, you know, being that this big fucking crazy skinhead can't talk Spanish, you know, he definitely got at the Southsiders that spoke both and was like, hey, homie, you know, can you get at your, hey, what, can I get at you, brother? Oi. This is how the conversation probably went down, right? I'm going to fucking kill the Mexicans, brother, if they don't, you know what I mean? If they don't give me my money. So, of course, Southsiders got at him, checked him again, and paid off their debt for him. You know, whatever the reasoning was behind it, they did that. You know, it wasn't a big deal. I think it was a couple bottles of a couple $100. Anyways, these Paisas had it going on, man. They were facilitating in this place a lot of white, right? For those of you that don't know what white is, refer to fucking Wes Watson's video, and he'll tell you what it is, brother. You know what I mean? So they were bringing a lot of dope in. So it was going to all work out. It'll play itself out. I don't know why the Paisas didn't just fucking break bread with the fucking white dude. He would have been more than happy for a little bit, to put a little bit in the spoon. But of course, you know, skinheads are different, bro. They want if you give them your word and you say you got something coming, there better be that and just that. So anyways, these guys somehow get in debt again. Okay. So the shit was about to go down. This white guy was not going to go to another group and ask for permission. He was not going to fucking attempt to go get his money anymore. He was going to lay a demo down. Okay, for those of you that don't know what a demo is, it's that shit that Bone Thugs and Harmony went to with Eazy-E and he signed them. It's a demonstration of what you can do, right? So he was going to let everyone know, albeit he had already been laying demos down left and right. Fools knew not to fuck with this big old skinhead. He was with the shit, right? He was with the shit. They actually, I can't even tell you what they call him. Let's just say it's in the description, right? But, so he gets at these dudes. And look, this is how the fucking move went down. This is what shut the yard down. Because the yard actually got shut down for this one. In a lockdown situation. The white dudes was going off. So he decides he's going to beat both of them up in their cell at the same time. Okay, he's not going to use weaponry. He's not going to kill them. But he's going to beat them to the point that they don't want to drink no more. You know, till they throw up, and it's not from alcohol. And he did just that, man. As soon as they cracked the doors for Morning Yard, he ran down the tier, went in their cell, him and another little white guy. And the little white guy stood in front of the door while this dude beat the shit out of both the Paisas. Okay, now this, you're not supposed to lay hands on another race. Okay, that's them's fighting words, y'all. You're not supposed to lay hands or touch anyone that's not your people. That's a declaration of war. That's a declaration of guerra, period. It's going to go down. Don't matter what group it is. You're not going to fucking get off on someone. So anyways, he chokes these guys out, you know, gets them in that fucking hammer toe leg lock and beats them up. They don't come out of their cell, so nobody knows. He goes to yard. He makes it to yard. Cleans the sangre off. They're all fucked up in their cell. They're blaming each other. Es porque este pinche puta cabrón. ¿Sabes qué? Fuck these white guys, eh? Right? They're all mad. Dude goes right to the yard. Oi. He just got his. And you start to see all the white guys gather up. Now, I remember this day because we were seeing them. They were all grouped up and we were tripping like, hey, they might try to fucking move on us. Because, you know, it's a fucking fact that North and whites have basically got into more guerra than North and South. Truth, right? Whites fight everybody. They're always in some shit. So we're peeping them out. They're grouping up. But basically, he was telling them, hey, be prepared because these Paisas and maybe even so the Southsiders are going to come at us. This is where I'm going to shut down shop on all the people that say the Southsiders and the whites are together at all times. And, you know, I know that's the black argument all the time with the Southsiders. I see it happens a lot in the comments where people are like, you know, the Southsiders right with the whites against the blacks. And, you know, not necessarily. You know, there were prison gangs that actually, you know, had close association or some ties to each other in the past. But nowadays, and in them times, man, it was a free-for-all, homes. Every group for themselves. You functioned or you aligned with somebody, but that didn't, the white guys were on their own, brother. They were doing their own thing, Wood, right? So this guy being a skinhead, there was probably about 6 or 7 skins on that yard, and they were all with the fucking functionalities, right? They were with the shit, and then there was about 25 woods. They were pretty deep. The whites were pretty deep on this yard for, you know, for them. Usually you don't see them unless it's Susie's house, the White House, then there's a gang of skinheads. They run that shit. But as far as, you know, this prison, no. So anyways, these paisas, when the other paisas do, for yard happens, bam, nothing goes down. We're looking like, all right, you know what I mean? Norte. And we go in, you start to hear the whispers. Damn, did you hear about those paisas on 3 block? Sí, pobrecito. That fool stuck their head up their ass faster than a rabbit got fucked, right? And so we already know what's going to go down with the whites and pretty much the Southerners and paisas. So the paisas come out to next yard, right? How this didn't get the attention, because this movement didn't get caught. He just beat the fuck out of him, right? He didn't kill him or nothing. And everyone just, they cleaned up. And that's what you do. You just clean up. You take an elbow. You clean up, come to the yard. I've seen vatos get hit, go in their cell, get stitched up by their cellie, and come right back out to the yard. You know, motherfuckers get hit again. I watched a dude get hit twice. A motherfucker went in, like we ran out, his cellie's like, we ran out of dental floss. I said, I can't even stitch you up anymore. The third one might be the charm. So it's on you. Fuck it, I'm going to this. And the third one was, right? So 3 strikes and he was out. So anyways, these guys go to the yard. Fuck that, they're not going out like that. So they gather up all the paisas. The whites are already waiting for them, and there's a melee in the yard. Southsiders weren't even aware of what was going on. Immediately, they rushed over to and started getting into it with the whites. Okay, of course, the whites are outnumbered. They're doing the best they can. They handle their business, but they're overcome by the sheer force of Mexican power, right? You know what I mean? It's like a brown pride movement. So they're getting fucking jumped on. But they were prepared for it. They already had pieces. See, they had weaponry. The paisas had weaponry. Southsiders, you know, dug up a couple things, dropped a couple things, and handled. So anyways, there's bodies all over the yard. Meanwhile, the blacks and the northerners are like, kill him, kill him. We're all happy because, you know, the adversary is gone. So they slammed the Southsiders, whites, and paisas down. Now it's just a black and northerner thing with the others and a few other fucking cats that are able to wiggle and come out. And it was about a week-long lockdown. They kept the paisas a little bit longer because they were the instigators of this. Not the institution now knows that, of course, these 2 guys got beat up. You think the white guy was done? Put your hand up and take a vote if you think that white guy was done. Mr. White Lightning himself. Nah, homie. Him and his cellie are on lockdown, and what do? They make more White Lightning, only this time he gets high on his own supply. He gets a whole spoonful of that white and some White Lightning, man, and gets fucked up beyond all recognition. It's called FUBAR, right? And he decides that he's going to come out and get his run back on the first Mexican he sees, right? And the first Mexican he seen was a Southsider, homie. Wasn't a paisa. Was a vato from Norwalk, right? So as this vato's going to showers, and this was the first day they lifted lockdown for the paisas later on, right? So they lifted lockdown for the Southsiders first because they figured these guys were just by proxy, homie. They were involved, but it wasn't because of them. So the cops let them out first. So everything's good. They're back to functioning. A couple days later, the white boys come out, right? And as soon as the paisas are still on lockdown. So, you know, they can't get to him. As soon as this white dude came out, man, he went straight to shower time. And, you know, one thing about prison is most people on a 4-yard, they're going to bird bath. Most dudes, I've seen dudes that went 2 years without going to the showers. Never, I said, never fuck about the stains, that's it. The homie never takes a shower. But they were bird bathing, man. I seen motherfuckers, they come out zestfully clean, straight from the bird bath, right? And this white dude was one of those. He was a skin, he liked to bird bath in his cell. You know, for those of you that don't know, you bird bath, usually you have like some type of fucking tube that you make into like a shower thing. You put the curtain right there, you sit on the toilet, water yourself up, soap yourself down, clean yourself. You know, after you're done working out, each one of you and your cellie, you'll take a bird bath, clean the floor. It's a whole process, man. But it's part of the program that actually makes your time go by faster because you already know what it is. You're going to wake up in the morning. You're going to get your fucking breakfast. You know what I mean? Or you're going to bust down. Some people like Wes Watson like to wake up at 2:30 in the morning because their aura wakes them and they like to bust down and see what's going on. But anyways, you work out, bird bath. It's just a routine that everybody does. Everybody has their get down their times when they bust down. Some dudes do it all fucking day. They bust down, bird bath, bust down, bird bath. You know, you'll notice the motherfucker's physique. You'll be like, damn, man. Are you getting bigger because of all the fucking with the soap, or are you getting big because you're working out? So this guy goes straight to the shower. When he goes to the shower, the Southsider's coming out of a shower, right? So as he's coming out and the white guy's walking towards him, the Southsider's like, you know, he doesn't know if the whites are still tripping. I guess the powers that maybe have gotten at each other, it's all good. It's a dead issue. Southsiders were like, okay, man, that wasn't our business really, but, you know, we got to rock with our peoples. And, man, this white dude just swung something, man. Boom, right? And it looked like a sock with a lock in it. I'm not sure it was a lock. It was like a fucking Folgers jar full of fucking whatever he had in it. But he swung and he hit the Southsider, bro. And as soon as he did, all the Southsiders that were in the day room rushed whatever white boys were right there. There was a couple white boys coming down the tier, walking down the stairs. They were going to the bottom showers. And a lot of them were in the day room. And it erupted viciously. Needless to say, they ended up taking this skin to lockup, man. We never seen him again. But that's the tale of White Lightning, man. That goes to show you, eventually, man, they did lock the whites and the Mexicans down or the Southsiders down a little while longer, and then bam, everything went back to the shit. Once that fucking white dude got put in the shoe or got put in the hole, it was all good, man. No one was really tripping anymore. That's usually how it happens. Once the guy who was actually involved does that, that's it. There was a couple things where the Southsiders did get their get backs. Don't be fucking mistaken. They're not going to take that L just like that. That's not what they do, right? They got theirs again because they felt that the white dude fucking got off first. And then that was it. They eventually came off lockdown about a month later, and it was all good in the hood. But this goes to show you how indulging in alcohol and gambling and drugs and shit in prison is probably some of the deadliest shit you can do. Period. Plain and simple. Any story that you hear where, you hear that there's alcohol involved, it gets crazy, man. I remember I was in Jamestown. In the dorm, or not the dorm, but the fucking, I guess it is a dorm, the gym. I was gym living, 3-yard. And there was this cat from Motown from Modesto, man. And this was a 50-50 yard, man. Northerners were non-functioning under the NF guidelines, but we were still homies, doing our thing. And this Volta from Modesto, I didn't like him. Couldn't stand this fucking piece of shit, right? And the reason I didn't like him, man, he was one of those ones that he sucked the chorra of every fucking new homie that came. If a homie had money, he'd be his, bro, he wanted to, one of those dudes, all on his nuts, trying to tell war stories and shit, broke dick dog motherfucker, instead of just being a cool homie and, people would look out, he want to be all on your fucking, just massaging your whole chorra while he's standing there. I just didn't like that type of individual. So anyways, one day he gets hella drunk, man. And he starts to fucking, get at this one cat, this newer cat from Sakura that was there, a homie from Sakura that kind of just did his own thing, went to church, man, but he was big, bro. And he starts to try to fuck with his head because he was drunk and played with them, sex playing, horse playing, and the homeboy knocked his whole fucking teeth to the back of, he hit him so hard that his teeth went through and he had a tooth in his nose. Facts. Don't get involved in alcohol. If you like to sip on that White Lightning, if you're watching this from prison, man, sip moderately, Hey, I don't like to drink, but when I do, I like to drink White Lightning. And that's just what it is. Anyways, with that being said, I hope that you enjoyed the true stories that I'm putting out there, man. These are facts. This is just the way it went down, man. The skinhead we called White Lightning, he was a big boy, man. I remember that fool he was about that shit. Anyways, with that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose, get everything that you want coming. And remember, gente, at the end of the day, it's all about the struggle, to strive, to struggle. Man, the holidays are coming. I want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas. I'm going to do that every day until we get there. Kids are going to be happy this year. It's definitely going down. So I can't wait. And I look forward to the holiday season, with my children. Anyways, with that being said, man, I'm going to do what I does. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I honestly and truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people, man. I tell these stories not to encourage you or to fucking put a spotlight on prison living, but I do this to put a spotlight on prison living so man, it's not everything that you think is cracked up to be. Bang, bang. Are you ready? The gun.